train come a-rolling, clickety-clack. Everybody trying to get a ticket to go, but those who go, they don't come back. They're going way down, Hadestown, way down under the ground.
Morgan with us. We have Nick with us. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you guys. First of all, this is my first play that kind of has something to do with like Greek mythology, if you will. So I'm excited to ask my first favorite question. How do you feel that you really relate to your character? Like in your normal day-to-day life, like when you're playing, you're like, dang, this is something I would have done. This was definitely written for me.
I think for me, Eurydice is definitely hard on Orpheus at first. She likes to tease him a little bit, and I can be like a little bit of a trickster. Yeah, she's definitely hard on him, but like in a loving, fun type of way.
Lit.
Like tough, yeah. Like
tough
you
love.
Really like me, like let's see, like
Let's
that.
see how much you like me.
Exactly.
What about you?
Yeah, I think we definitely embody our characters a lot off stage, but I think I come across very like smiley and open like Orpheus when you first meet me, and I definitely have a bit of his naivete. I mean, anyone will tell you I'm very gullible, so people will tell me something and I will believe it. Yeah. But he takes it further than I would in life.
I love it. So speaking of life, I did see that you started doing theater at like 10.
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did you get there? Like, did you beg your parents, or were they like, no, this is what you're going to do?
Yes, you're actually one of the first people who've nailed it. My parents were not stage parents. They did not push me into it for extra money. It was definitely a passion of mine, and I did community theater, and I somehow landed a manager at age 9 and started auditioning. And that wasn't the plan, and my parents were like, oh, he'll try it out and see, and I was very driven and ambitious 10-year-old. And then I kept doing it, and now I'm an old hat at it.
How did you get into theater?
Well, okay. So
where do we start?
I'm trying to figure out like when to actually take it seriously. High school, I tried to play volleyball.
Okay.
And I'm like not for sports. Like it was a bad situation. And the theater program at high school was like actually pretty good. They took it seriously. And so I decided, I'll just go try this thing.
Yeah.
And I never really left. Honestly.
What was your first play that you did in high school?
I was Baby Roo in Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, I'm not going to front. I did not expect you to say that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was expecting Grease, because when I was in high school, I tried to do Grease. And that was when I realized
that's like a classic, like high school, like audiences will come and love it. Like that was like the children's show. And I'm really glad actually that that's the first thing I did, because the stuff that they did were like very serious plays, like very few musicals. And it was just like fun. My mom's second grade class actually came to see the show. So it's like a really great introduction to theater at the high school.
I love it. So, okay, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like anytime you have like a book or you have theater, it comes from somewhere. So being that Hadestown is an underground world, if there was a real Hadestown, what city or state would it be?
Oh, Lord.
I vote Vegas, personally. That's just me.
That's good.
That's just me.
I mean, we have to be careful answering this. We've been to a lot of places around this country. Like a personal hell, is that what you mean? Like,
yeah, because I feel like, obviously it's not that great down there, but it's also not that great here. So it's like there are some positives, and people sometimes want to go there. So if you had to like pick a spot that kind of is like, look, this is where you're gonna be at, and depending on what you do, you're picking your own poison, you might have a good time, which is why I picked Vegas, because anything goes in Vegas.
Sure. I think I would like pick a Midwestern factory town. Like a town where you like clock in, clock out, you experience the ebbs and flows of like, we're laying people off, we're taking people in, just something like that, very like manufactural place.
I could see that. I could see
kind
that.
of the vibe on stage, like a factory. It's in the lyrics. I'm gonna bear with me with this answer, but I feel like the first thing that came to mind was just like the dark recesses of my own brain. And like, And just like, because I mean, the show is very metaphorical.
Yeah.
And I think like, certainly in Doubt comes in, which is a song in the show that Orpheus, starts to doubt himself. And I can do that too. I think we all relate to that. So I think my personal hell is just like doubting myself and,
yeah. Sometimes
dark,
like
but-
your brain can be your biggest enemy.
Right, you're your own
like,
worst
I've literally talked myself out of so many things, and it's like if I would have just done it, I could have been here by now, or I could have like, I don't know, maybe I wanted to start a line, like I could have launched it by now, but it's like I kept second guessing myself,
Right.
Question. So when you're on tour, obviously you're not at home, you're not necessarily around like your comfort. How do you guys keep your energy pure while you're moving from state to state?
I think the answer to that is not something concrete. And I think that I'm learning that what I need when I'm exhausted this way is not what I need when I'm exhausted in a different way. So it is like self-care, and sometimes it is like a lot of socialization to the point where I'm like, am I gonna be able to sing? Like there's a danger in isolating yourself, especially on tour when you're trying to like, heal yourself and be able to perform. You have to be fed also socially, especially doing a show like this that requires so much of your heart and so much of your energy and so much of your passion. So I do think that a lot of the rejuvenation comes from each other and also comes from being alone and taking care of
Like
yourself.
that family that you guys create when you're just on the road for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think she said it all. That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
So is this like your first theater where you guys are actually a couple, or have you done other theaters where you were a couple? Not necessarily together, but like, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's certainly my first like romantic lead.
That's what I mean. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Morgan?
Is it? I've been like romantically in a couple or just in a couple. I did Little Abner once and I had a couple. It was very odd. This is the most comforting couple. This is the most comforting
It's also
couple.
the most like, it's an epic love story.
Yeah.
How would you actually describe that love story that you guys portray and then really bring it into like you?
I think the thing I love most about the show is that it's not necessary to really prepare for the character before the show begins. Like you prepare your instrument, prepare your mind, your body, but you don't have to come in all worked up and all, in a certain place. Anais did this beautiful thing where the music and the story really just asks you to be in the moment that you're in.
Yeah.
And sometimes the love story and the connection is like different, but it's always authentic. And that's the thing that I'm most grateful for in this piece, is not really feeling married to a choice or a feeling, but just the moment that we're in with each other. And I think being on tour has cultivated that like trust in the relationship as well.
I love that. What about you?
Yeah, I think sorry, give me the question one more time. It was such a great answer that I was like lost in the answer.
So, you guys are playing a love story. So like, how do you truly embody that love story?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think like Morgan said, it's an authentic love story, and it's not kind of stars in your eyes, we fall in love and everything's perfect. Like it gets messy at times. Like, this is a Greek tragedy, but what Aeneas and Rachel have created is very grounded and real. And there are moments that I think both characters doubt the other's love for them, and there's kind of betrayal that happens, but in the end, they do have this kind of cosmic deep love, and it gets them through a lot. Not through everything, but through a lot.
It gets them to the finish line, So, okay, let me ask you one more question. If you had to describe your character in one word, you can have 3 if you need 3, but in one word, what would that be?
Can the 3 words be 3 adjectives?
Hey.
Okay, I'm gonna do my 3. Strong,
Okay.
passionate.
Mm-hmm.
That's only 2. Strong, passionate. Yeah, I think those, persevering, those 3.
Okay.
I'll just take a line from the show. I'll just say heart on his sleeve. That's it. Because it gets them in trouble, but it also is a good trait too.
I love it. So when people walk away from this, what do you want them to feel?
I think what I want people to feel is, as we play these very real people, that they take that compassion and that grace out into the world. And that, you know, if you see someone on the street, or you see someone, or you interact with someone that's broken, that you remember that things break people, like situations break people, and that if we could have a little bit more grace and mercy towards each other, and just compassion, that the world as a whole can and will become a better place.
I love it.
Yeah, that's great. That's like,
especially these days.
the
We all need that
ideal.
compassion.
yeah. And I mean, people are just so moved by this show. We get DMs like every day about just, you know, people just remembering art, especially after this pandemic, and people haven't been in a theater, and just to experience art and be like, yeah, this is important, and we need to feed our soul and see some good art.
I love it. I love it. Well, I have one more question.
Yes.
If there's another little 10-year-old that really wants to do theater, how do you think they should really go about convincing their parents, who might not be theater parents, to give them a try?
You know, I think the answer is to the parents, which is to just support your kids and what they want to do. I took this masterclass once with this actor, Chaz Palminteri, and, you know, a lot of parents are concerned about the artistic life being kind of unstable and, you know, not lucrative, but he was saying that your kids will figure it out. Like, just support them. They'll figure it out. If that's something they don't want to do, or they're, you know, they'll find the right people. Like, let them kind of lead the way. So that would be my advice to them.
I love it. And Morgan, if you were to talk to a girl that's in high school that really wants to get into theater, what advice would you give her?
I would say, don't let the industry sway you. Like, be yourself. Train, learn, but use those tools to make yourself a better you, not a different you.
I love, yes, better you, not a different you. The evolving and the improvement. I love that. I love that. Well, I want to thank you two for chatting with me. This was amazing. I cannot wait to come back and see this tonight. Like, I'm excited.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.